Countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime. It's Friday in America, noon 05 in Dallas, Texas, in the lovely, beautiful blue RNCN studios. That music's a little hot. Can we bring that music down a little bit? Live production here, folks. I'm Matt. I'm your host for today. Welcome into the lunch break. Bring the music down a little bit. Pod 7 and 8. Again, I'm Matt. I'm flanked here by Sarah Strackhouse on mic 2. How's it going,
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
Derek Kaufman on mic 5.
Hey.
What's going on? And we've got Sarah and Dallas Crilly in the booth running things today. How's it going in there? Your mic's not on? Mic 13.
We got a new driver.
Hey,
There we go.
Hey, I even
She's
have,
awesome, but
I
she's
even
just
have a
grabbing the
fancy
wheel.
slate. Hold
Go
on,
slow,
wait.
student driver.
I get the headphones.
Oh, nice. All right, but you can still hear in there, though. I believe
driver.
the.
You can. It'll sound great.
All right, perfect. All right, we're going to go on. We're going to do a little bit of the lunch break here. I don't know how long this thing is going to go. We're just going to go until we run out of stuff.
Love it.
And we're going to start off today talking about chili dogs. How does
All
that sound?
right.
Let's talk chili dogs.
Yes.
Derek, you were telling me a story that the lovely Anna Xavier, who is upstairs running a show right now and cannot
Yes.
participate in the fun, was not aware of what a chili dog was.
Right. So I was talking with Trelvis. I don't know exactly how this came about upstairs, but
Okay.
we somehow got on the topic of chili dogs. And
I mean, you don't need a reason, right? You just need to talk chili dogs,
It's
right?
lunchtime.
Yeah.
And Anna was sitting there, and she was like, "What are you guys talking about?" And I was like, "You know what a chili dog is, right?"
Okay, so did she not know the name, or did she not know the concept of putting chili on a hot dog?
We had to look it up to get it, because the way I explained it was just disgusting, but that's kind of how chili
hold on
dogs
now.
look.
Wait, how did you explain it?
Yeah.
I was just like, it's just a normal hot dog. Like, you don't put anything on it but chili and like cheese and like Fritos, depending on who you are.
Wait, are Fritos usually on a chili dog?
I'm gonna say no. Like,
I was
this-
going to say no.
this is
my
That's
version.
different,
There's a
right?
lot of
my
balance
version.
right here.
Okay.
But that's
I
all
like
right.
I
I'll
like
allow
a little
it.
bit of Fritos sometimes.
A little crunch. Okay,
or
Betty.
without Fritos and add a little bit of mustard on top of the chili. I like that too.
I like a mustard. I like a mustard.
I
on a
like
chili dog.
Fritos on my sandwiches.
Okay.
I like some sort of chip in all of my sandwiches.
it's
It gives
got-
that
crunch in
nice
there.
crunch.
It's
yeah.
got that vibe. It's
Yep.
definitely like for the crunch.
Yeah.
But this entire concept of putting chili on a hot dog, she did know what a hot dog was. I assume.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Did she explain what her normal hot dog order is? Is she just a plain ketchup mustard kind of person?
No, I didn't ask, honestly. I kind of got into hungry mode on her, and me and Trelvis just kind of went off on our own tangent and started looking up pictures of hot dogs.
It's something I've
Fair.
run into. So, for folks that don't know, Anna is not from the U.S. She's not from Texas. She is from originally from Portugal. Spent some time in London, and then came over here a few years ago. And so, what I've run into is just how absolutely terrible we are about food. Because I will say something. Like we discussed a Frito pie, which you were not familiar with.
No.
But the concept of putting chips into a bowl and putting chili and cheese on them is not a crazy concept to an American,
No.
right?
No,
You just don't know what it is.
We just didn't call it Frito pies. It
Right.
was like nachos or
Sure.
something like that.
But
Is a chili dog or a Frito pie considered drunk food? Because that's what she asked, and I said,
I mean, it could be, I
I
guess.
was
don't
like-
think so, though.
"It's like no." But
a chili
yes,
dog is like what you get at like a baseball
food
game.
is what it is.
Right.
It's amazing is what
It is
it
ama-
is.
it is amazing.
it's only
I
enhanced.
totally agree.
Only enhanced by alcohol.
Yeah.
There
It
you
was
go.
one of the 3 gifts of the wise men. They brought gold, frankincense, and chili dogs. But I've realized this talking to her. Like, she'd never been to a Chick-fil-A. She'd never been to a bunch of like fast food icons that I would consider Whataburger or anything like that. Like, even after having lived here for a while before we met her, we were like, oh, what are you talking about? You've never been to these places. And I'm just like, okay, like clearly I'm the one that's wrong here. Like, I'm not the one that's saying you ought to go have a chili dog right now, although she totally should.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's brought about this, or it's made me realize this vast difference in the way folks from other countries eat. I'm not going to say other people don't eat disgusting. It's just different, right?
It's different.
So different.
I'm always impressed by Anna because Anna always has like the most healthy looking thing for lunch, and I'm walking in with like a massive burrito from Three Birds or something.
Yeah, totally.
Well, she's vegetarian, right? Usually, as much as she can be.
I think. Well, I don't think she's against meat, but
No.
I think probably health wise, yes.
Health-wise,
There's
yeah.
a lot of vegetarian
I've
stuff.
seen, what was it, squid down here?
She did bring
Octopus
some
before?
octopus in
How
here, which I'm not.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not about. I'm
No,
not
yeah.
about that life.
Isn't it just like calamari?
I guess, but I'm not about that either.
It wasn't fried.
Really?
It was like boiled. So
Yeah, it was just,
definitely
like,
a weird
cooked.
texture for the average American.
Was it like just like a straight up like the tentacles and like the big head there?
No, it was
Or
like
is
chopped up. It was
Okay.
It was
chopped
kind of
up.
like a salad, like an
Yeah.
octopus
Okay.
salad.
But I know what's in that.
Interesting.
I'm not about that.
She also
About
knows
that
how
life.
to make the correct way to make macchiatos. Remember when Starbucks came out with the cloud macchiato? I was like, what is wrong with this? This isn't a real macchiato. And she goes, Sarah, because there wasn't enough coffee in there.
Yeah, I remember this.
It was like just all this foam. And she goes, well,
Yeah.
that's really how the macchiato is supposed to be.
Oh,
and I said,
really?
no, I know my macchiatos. They're like full of the caramel. And she goes, no, that's so Americanized. It's not a real macchiato, Sarah. Let's get real here. And so then she goes into this whole in-depth presentation of what a real macchiato is. And she really knows her stuff. She knows her food. She knows her beverages. She knows her coffee, y'all.
Very worldly.
Yeah, I remember. Well, so I was talking to her the other day, and she was telling me just about coffee and how she used to work as a barista overseas.
That's right.
Yeah, and I told her, I was like, I hate coffee. I just don't like the taste of it. It's just too bitter. I just don't like it. Like,
And
no
you're
matter,
from News?
I know. No matter how much sugar,
I'm the same way.
anything
Yeah.
I put in it, I just don't like it. The only time I liked it was when I was in Australia. I was telling her I studied abroad in Australia, and they had what was called a flat white.
I knew you were going to say
And
that.
she's like, well, you know
what
that's
is this?
mostly milk, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
Okay.
It's
there
it's
it
just
is.
like an espresso almost, and
But it's like, it's
most-
basically like a latte, but like the milk is made differently, I guess, but it's just basically creamy, and you really
Okay.
can't taste any coffee.
Okay.
It's basically just like a hot warm milk.
Okay.
So she was saying that there was a place opening up close by that was an Australian coffee place, I guess. And she was like, I bet they'll have flat whites.
they have to.
I'm like, well, that's
This
exciting.
is flat whites, those typical ones that they always do like designs in and stuff.
Okay.
Because they put so much milk in.
But I don't think they have a flat white at like Starbucks or anywhere around here.
I wouldn't know.
Because it's like the milk is like made differently. It's like literally like,
It's like a cream.
Well, it's like warm
almost.
cream,
Kinda.
right?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
yeah.
So I would say one of the biggest progenitors of American food to the world would be McDonald's, right? Like McDonald's is everywhere. I saw a story today though that McDonald's is now going to start experimenting with bringing international items to the U.S. So I'm sure if you've traveled any, you're familiar with the fact that if you go to McDonald's in Japan, it's going to be the menu is going to be
Yes.
completely different than what you would expect.
Is
Much
it
better.
really?
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all sorts of wild stuff going on in other parts of the world, and because they're catered to that demographic,
I
right?
thought
Like,
they're chain
yeah.
franchised and all do the same thing.
some
here.
of it's the same. Like you could probably
Yeah.
go find a Big Mac.
They definitely
Yeah.
have Big Mac. I know.
They have the basics, but I think like I
Well,
remember.
you've been to Australia,
yeah,
like you
in
said.
Australia they had Vegemite on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They had Vegemite on the
What
menu.
is that?
Yeah, so they have it as like a sauce. It's Vegemite. It's just like it's
don't
basically
wanna
like
know.
liver pate.
No. It's
Or like the green.
extracted.
Yeah.
It's yeast extract. So like it's a byproduct of the brewing process.
But usually it's mixed with like the liver, isn't it? Like the pate, like that's why it has that
I
like
don't know.
green
I don't think so.
brown color.
All I know is
I just
that
didn't
it's,
like it.
it's basically like bottom of the barrel after you've brewed a bunch of beer and they
looks
just kind of
terrible.
scrape
It
it
tastes
out.
kind of bitter.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I didn't like it. I tried it once just because everyone told me I had to, and I was like, never again.
I feel like this started as a cultural thing where someone was like, you should smear that on a toast.
Yeah,
I
that
dare
looks
you.
good.
And one person liked it, and now it's a huge thing in the southern hemisphere, but yeah, not good.
No, not at all.
They put it on burgers?
No.
No, they
they're
had
just-
it as a spread.
Oh, okay. So
At
like you can get
McDonald's.
it
Yeah.
It's
like a
typically
condiment,
like a
basically.
breakfast
Yeah.
thing, and you just put like a tiny bit. It's not like you're
It's
jamming
super,
something up.
super like pungent.
Interesting.
You're right.
Yeah.
It smells like liver.
Yeah. Well, I've actually been to Australia too, and one of the interesting things in terms of fast food is that Burger King there is actually called Hungry Jack's.
Yes.
Like they literally
Forgot
took the
about
Burger King
that.
logo,
Yeah.
replaced Burger King with Hungry Jack's, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe a little bit better, in my opinion.
I thought it was better.
It's been so long
McDonald's
since
there
I've
was
been
better.
there. I don't even remember eating eating there, but I remember they did have the different name for it.
Yeah.
All I can remember from like an Australian McDonald's was they had like sub sandwiches on the menu.
Yeah.
And like their burgers were like clubs instead of like a Big Mac where it's just. Ugh.
I'm looking at some
Yeah.
of the stuff from Japan. They have like the shrimp salsa burger,
What?
which is
you say shrimp salsa?
shrimp salsa, which is salsa. Like the patty is made of shrimp. Oh. With lettuce, salsa, cheese, onions, things like that.
Yikes.
So, but they are going to bring. I don't think they're bringing the shrimp salsa burger here to America. At least I
Probably
hope not,
not.
because I'll never ever eat it. But they are going to bring what they call the worldwide favorites menu to America. Some of them being Spain's the Grand Mick Extreme Bacon Burger. Which doesn't sound all right.
Sounds amazing.
Canada, they're bringing in the tomato mozzarella chicken sandwich.
Oh, that sounds good.
That does sound good.
And Australia is the cheesy bacon fries, which they actually have already rolled out here. And then from the Netherlands, they're bringing in the Stroopwafel McFlurry, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a Stroopwafel is.
Bless you.
They're, they are delicious, by the way.
Gesundheit.
You can find them at World Market. You can find them around, but they're like little bitty flat. They look like cookies, basically, but they're waffles with usually something in between, like caramel or
Oh,
something
is it like
that.
those little wafer things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And traditionally, you're supposed to have a cup of coffee, put it on top, so where it warms up and gets soft, and then you eat it with your coffee. In the McFlurry, they put vanilla soft serve, grind these things up in there, and you have that sounds pretty good.
That does sound
to
good.
me. I'll go with that. But yeah, McDonald's going to be rolling out an international menu, so look for that.
Very cool.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan of fast food. I think it's a miracle to the planet.
It's incredible, right? Like fast food.
Absolutely.
That's so funny.
Look, I'm not gonna speak towards the nutritional value of fast food, but just the I have been amazed sometimes when I go to a McDonald's and there's nobody in line in front of me, right?
Yep.
It's not a busy part of the day.
Yep.
I roll up to the menu, I make my order, pull around. I mean, we're talking about 30 seconds here. Pull
Straight
around,
up.
pay, pull up to the next window. There's the food. Like, how do you do that? Like, how is that even possible? And I order custom because I don't like onions, so I always take onions off of something.
Yep.
So they have to make it, and it's still there whenever I get up. I'm like, we're talking about less than a minute, and we've got food coming through the window of my car. It's incredible, right?
For like $1.
Yeah, exactly.
For
Like,
$1.
it's a model of efficiency that I don't think can be matched anywhere else. Like,
And
just
it
looking at the
doesn't-
process is amazing, right?
It doesn't have to be terribly unhealthy.
No, it
like,
doesn't.
think about it. If you go
I mean,
to
I'm ordering the unhealthy stuff, but it doesn't have to be.
Right. Like, Chick-fil-A for 3 strips, it's like 350 calories, mostly protein.
Yeah.
If you go to McDonald's and you get the kids meal, 4 nuggets is 200. If mostly protein again.
And you get a toy.
And you get a toy.
There you go.
How many calories are in the toy?
Depends on which one they give you.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to assume that pot 9 is up, so I'm going to roll a little music. It's not. Let's get 9 up and rolling so we can hear some of the sweet, sweet tunes.
There it
There
is.
it is. Oh, I love it. All right, we're going to take a quick break here for a second and reset. When we come back, are you more stressed than ever? Survey says yes. We'll be back right here on the lunch break on RNCN. Stick around. I'm sure the mics are still on, so I'm just going to hang out here and be quiet.
I'll just breathe into the microphone
I'll just...
really creepily.
People
So
can hear our
I
off-air
hit the wrong
conversation.
button on the background, so now we have a 28 back there. How do I change?
Hit the full screen on vMix. You'll see a full screen button up at the very top that is green. Hit that, and it should go away.
Yeah.
There it is. All right, we're going to do a little off-air conversation here. Folks, feel free to listen in. Sarah, you have to leave soon, right?
Yes.
Okay. How much time you got?
I mean, like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. We'll
Yeah.
do one more segment here with you.
Perfect.
Everybody gets to
Spent
hear
like 20 minutes talking about McDonald's.
all our
Talk about this
listeners.
all day.
You guys ever heard of,
This is
uh,
normally what I'm talking about anyway. So
You guys ever heard about Tim Tams? It's like a-
Yes. Oh my God.
They're
We're
like
obsessed with
cookies.
those. They're like little chocolate cookies. They're amazing.
Oh, yeah. I've
Oh
seen
my God,
those.
they're the best.
It reminded me. You reminded me of that with the Stroopin waffle.
Stroop waffle.
Stroop waffle.
Stroop waffle.
It's a great name.
All right. Our mics are already on, so we're just going to come back. Let's lower that music a little bit. We'll come back to the show. Everybody gets to hear what live production sounds like. This
There you
is a little behind the scenes for you. So some of you may have seen this story come out. I want to say I saw it yesterday, maybe. A new Gallup poll that says Americans are more stressed, angry, and worried than ever before. Did you see this? Mm-mm. Okay. So this Gallup poll asked folks to rate their feelings basically about their previous day, right? So they were asking you, how did you feel about yesterday? And Americans responded by saying 55% said their day was filled with a lot of stress. 45% said they felt a lot of worry. 22% said they felt a lot of anger. And overall, now I don't know what the metric is here, but I'm just going to say this number and make it sound important. The American Negative Experience Index rose to 35, which is higher than any other previous year. And I just want to compare this to other countries. So specifically when it comes to stress, the U.S. was 20% above the global average of 35%. So again, 55% of Americans said that their day was full of stress. 35% is the global average. Only Greece, Philippines, and Tanzania experienced more stress than the U.S. And I'm always amazed by some of these. I hear this often, right? Americans are more stressed. They work a lot. Living in a country that seems to be so, like, we shouldn't be stressed, right? Like, we have...
So many luxuries.
If you're a basic American, you have all of your needs met, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I can't quite put my finger on why we still feel so much stress.
You know, I think it's two things. One, in general, why year over year, at least here, why I think it's more is because these things. We have phones. Now we're constantly having, you know, you're at all times you are reachable. At all times you can, you know, check your email, you can check your this and your that. So at all times you are constantly thinking about whatever it is, you know, work or, you know, whatever it is
You're
you're
never
doing.
off work, right?
You're
You're
yeah.
never out of touch.
Yes, exactly. You're never
Yeah.
out of touch. And the other thing is, So my whole family is still back in Italy, and they always say, "Oh, we close down for lunch, you know, like for like 2 to 3 hours, and people come when they want to, they go when they want to." It's just such a more laid back style, like way of living, and I feel like that, like here, it's always been like go go go. We have to produce, like we have to be the best, we
Yeah.
have to be incredible. So at all times, I feel like Americans are just constantly like pushing forward. And I don't know if that, I think that's just a culture thing.
I think so too, and it may be something that's just ingrained in us now. But there does seem to be the idea of the 9 to 5 workday with no break. I mean, there are again, this is something that I learned talking to Anna. You know, they'll shut down in the middle of the day for a couple of hours just to have a long lunch break or
siesta.
Go
take
for a
nap.
walk.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like all the place, like everyone does it. Like
Right.
everyone along the strip or everyone along like, you know, your competitors don't stay open for those 2 hours, you know?
So that's the thing about here that would be very difficult to make a change. Like say, for instance, at this company, which Sarah, I'm not putting anything on you. I'm just gonna talk.
So 2 hour lunch break, yeah?
But if we decided that, okay, we're only going to be open from 10 to 4, and in the middle of the day, we're going to take a 2-hour nap or something like that.
Yeah.
We could certainly do that. You know, there have been studies that show you only have this much productivity in a day and you can't work for 8 hours straight or whatever. So we could certainly do that, but nobody else that we work with is thinking that way.
Yeah.
So if they tried to contact us at 1 o'clock and we're all in the nap room asleep,
They're going to call somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's just the way it's going to work here.
Yeah.
And so
We're all in the nap room. That would
the
be
nap
amazing.
room.
yeah, I think we're probably slowly converting that room back there into a nap room.
Excellent. Dimming lights,
Yeah.
soft music, candles, all the above.
We're just
like
going
it.
to roll out sleeping bags in there. But yeah, like we couldn't do that if we wanted to because we would be at a competitive disadvantage.
Yeah.
What about like a power nap? I mean, I think that's totally practical to be able to just, you have a lunch break, go shut your eyes for a little bit, especially being in the media and some of our team members that all hours recording things. I think it's doable if needed.
So,
but if I started to get used to an everyday nap, I could
easily get used to that.
I think my
if that's what you're
productivity
saying.
would go down, and if it was like a consistent every day I need my nap, kind of like the cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So I think you listen to your body. Hang on, let me merge myself in. You listen to your body if you need a nap or if you're sick or there's certain times. But it's also kind of on like what pace you're at, and that's also why I've seen other countries they have like isn't it? So we have a weekend, right?
Yeah.
But don't they have longer work weeks or shorter work weeks? Isn't there flex?
They may do something like a 4-day work week, but the days are maybe a little longer or something like that.
Like
or
10 hours.
Yeah, something. Or maybe they're not, and maybe they just do the 4-day work week. I think that I completely lost my train of thought here. So I'm just going to keep talking.
What do you think, Matt? Like, what do you
It'll come back to
prefer?
you.
Oh,
like,
no.
you know what I mean? Like, would you want to do longer 7-day work straight with
No, I wouldn't
shorter
wanna do that.
days?
No way.
No, I certainly wouldn't
You'd rather
wanna
just
do-
bust it out throughout the week.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Sprint, and
longer
then-
4 days and then a 3-day weekend.
I would do a 10-hour, 4-day work
Yeah,
week.
same.
For sure.
That's what I
here's-
was always
Here's the
rather.
thing that I always found interesting about the media business, working in news or working in radio. Rarely, unless you're working an office type job, rarely are you working a 9 to 5 shift.
Never.
And rarely are you working an 8-hour shift.
No.
It's usually like you'll work for like 5 or 6 hours. And that's it. But you'll work a crazy, like you'll be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well,
or
so-
something, or until midnight or whatever.
I'll never forget my first on-air job was I had to be at the office at 8 because we had our morning meeting at 8:30. We were out leaving for stories by like 9:30, and then we had to be ready for the 4 o'clock show, the 5 o'clock show, the 6 o'clock show, and then break down our story. For those who know what I'm talking about, into a VOSAT for the 10 o'clock. So you were there no matter what until 7. So you were basically in at 8, home by 7:30.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, it's not an 8-hour. And then, of course, the days that there's breaking news or there's some sort of bad weather, you're in at 5 a.m. and you're still expected to put together a package and break it down for the 5, 6, 10.
So that was always the trade-off. So me, I typically worked a shorter shift because I was producing, say, when I left radio, I was producing Afternoon Drive. So I didn't have to show up to work until 1 o'clock if I didn't want to, and then I
Right.
was out by 6 or 7.
It's amazing.
That sounds so glorious.
But on the days whenever something would happen, bad weather happened. Sorry, I'm stuck there
You're there
until
forever.
midnight.
Yeah.
because I'm calling people or whatever like that. Or if there was some other big news event, I'm there. So I think that was a little bit of the trade-off.
Yeah.
Was you were working. I may have had a shorter schedule, but I was technically on call at all times.
yeah.
If something were to happen, or if somebody just didn't show up, I had to come in and help out. But I do think, I think it might be worthwhile. Again, this is something that's going to be hard for any one individual or any one company to do. Right. But I think it might be worthwhile. If I can speak for the American people right now.
Everyone, listen up.
It might be worthwhile, though, to
Should be on the ballot.
to consider work-life balance is a thing, right? It might be helpful to think, if I work myself to death, am I happier at the end of the day?
Well, and think about
happier
according
when
to
the
Tracy
weekend
Tim,
comes?
if you love what you do, you're bound to get rich faster than someone who doesn't, even if you work around the same amount of time.
Perhaps, yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Think about teachers, though. They take the entire summer off. They're exhausted from those kids. They need the whole summer.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, no, I agree. Like,
I don't doubt it.
teaching is something that I would never. That's yeah.
I have so much respect for teachers.
People who complain about teachers getting the summer off don't understand what the rest of the year is like for a teacher.
Yeah.
That is a job that you do
No way.
work from 6 a.m. until whenever. And
Well,
you're
that and
always
also like a lot of
messing
them
with-
are doing summer school. They're
Yeah.
doing night classes. Like a lot of them are like, a lot of these teachers aren't just teachers. Like one of my girlfriends in Chicago, she does basketball team. She does, leadership stuff. She handles like a lot of the college applications. So she's going on, trips with these kids, and all summer she's doing teaching summer school and summer classes and this and that. So I'm like, more power to you.
Yeah, no,
I
but,
have so much respect for what you do. I just could never do it.
And on top of just the kids, you have to deal with their parents.
Yeah.
maybe worse. In fact, I have a story about that. Hold on one second if I can find it. Yes. So a high school in, let me find where this high school was. In Houston, actually. Speaking of dealing with parents, they have implemented a dress code not just for the students, but also a dress code for parents.
Wow.
That's interesting.
The principal sent out a letter telling parents they need to dress more appropriately, including a ban on pajamas, slippers, jeans with rips in the butt, and short shorts. You can only imagine the types of people that were probably rolling up to school at James Madison High School in Houston.
It doesn't surprise me that it's in Houston.
The ban also includes hair rollers, visible underwear,
Nice.
and low-cut tops. So they were implementing the policy to quote, this is coming from the principal, to quote, prepare our children and let them know daily appropriate attire they are supposed to wear when entering a building, going somewhere, or applying for a job. I mean, this is something that I hear from a lot of
What happens
teachers.
to the parents though? Like, what are the repercussions? Like, do the parents get suspended?
I guess they just don't get to come in.
Yeah, they get kicked out. Yeah, they're not allowed in with like ripped up clothing. I mean, if you're trying to have your kid dress appropriately, I mean, I think that's fine.
So it's the age-old argument that I hear from a lot of teachers. I know my mom was a teacher, and a lot of my friends are, and I always hear that if you have a kid that's a problem student, you're never going to be surprised by the parents that come in, because they're always, you can always see, okay,
Apple
this is a direct
Yeah,
lineage of
there you
what
go.
happened. So I
Of
think
what
it's
happened.
of what has happened here.
The situation.
So I think it's an interesting kind of almost forcing a social norm on the parents, saying, okay, please try to dress appropriately so we can help teach your student or teach your child how to behave in public.
I think that's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. If someone tried to tell me how to dress, coming to pick up my kid, I'd be a little, I don't
Maybe
think I'd
not
be
outside the building, right?
Yeah. But like, even if I was coming in, but I can't imagine myself dressing
So I
and
can
ripped up.
I can actually add to that.
Yeah,
shirts.
I'd love
won't-
to know your thoughts.
I won't name the school, but there was an elementary school that Caleb attended to, and they did send out just a letter to the parents. Please don't drop your child off in carpool while wearing pajamas.
What?
That's kind of
Yes,
excessive.
and
Wait
I
a minute,
was
though. Pajamas.
shocked.
Like,
Now,
I mean,
these kids go to school early. I mean, Caleb, I'm in carpool around 7:15, 7:30, in between that window, and it's early. Get up at 6.
That's
get
pajama
up.
time.
Rollers are still in my hair. I was probably that parent. Okay.
Wait, that's crazy because pajamas, like some
It's
people
more-
sleep in like workout clothing.
That's taking it too far, too.
I think so, too.
Are these people
Yeah.
say if they're in the car?
They're in the car. Like, if you eat, like, what are pajamas nowadays? Are they plaid pants? Do they have to be
and I
plaid
was
shorts?
in sweatpants,
Like, what is
but
that?
but I did take it personally. But think about it this way: let's say that there's something like your child forgot their lunch, and all of a sudden you have to get out of the car, physically walk your child in, and then you're in pajamas. I mean, I think some parents may have been pulling that.
I mean, I feel like, but that's a
but,
personal choice.
You know,
if you
just
want to be
rolling up
seen in your
pajamas.
PJs,
Kids have pajama day.
like,
That's what I
up
was
to
starting
you.
to say. Like, well, we have pajama day for kids, but I don't know.
I would put like a limit, like before 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Whatever. But don't come in here looking
'cause, like,
looking ridiculous. But
I
fine
sleep in workout clothing. I don't really have like PJs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really have like
Yeah.
a nightie or something. You know what I mean? Like one of those things. So if my pajamas are workout clothing, like, are they trying to say that like that's not okay?
I was fine with the first rule of like you can't come into the
Yeah.
school looking kind of ratty and stuff. 'cause
Right. I get that.
I have seen a couple of spandex situations in my time that are just very unfortunate. but if you're like in the car,
Yeah, and you're dropping
not-
your kid off and
I
you're
mean,
just ushering them out the door.
Yeah, come
I'm wearing
on.
whatever the
That's
heck
a
I
little-
want.
that's a little too much.
I mean, short of like, obviously don't be nude or something. But I feel like that's an obvious.
Well, it's interesting. I'm thinking about like at certain nice restaurants, for example, if you go in and you're not dressed appropriately, at least
Yeah.
the guy like will hand you a blazer or something to put on. He'll be
Right.
polite. He'll
Or-
say maybe this coat will suit you better, sir.
Yeah,
or
there's
something
like there's
that.
So it's not
there's
embarrassing.
clubs,
Yeah.
there's bars, there's restaurants. You can't wear like sneakers. You can't wear like a hat or like. I mean, I get that, but that's also a private establishment. If you're going to like a public school and you're trying to drop your kid off,
I mean, I do like the look. I certainly don't want to social shame anyone, right?
No.
Like, obviously, if you can't afford nice clothes, we're not saying you have to
No.
roll in here in
course
business
not.
casual wear. But I do think there is something to be said for trying to instill this notion of a school is not It's not a gym. It's not. It's not just like an empty warehouse that you can roll up to wearing whatever you want. There should be something important about going to school, and especially if you're a parent going for a parent-teacher conference or parent night or something like that. Like, you should try to
look presentable.
Be presentable.
Let's go back to that article though, Matt. Did they say the parents needed to wear uniforms? I'm trying to remember.
No, it wasn't uniforms. It was just try not to wear slippers, try not to wear hair rollers, low-cut tops, short shorts.
It was a dress code.
Yeah. And again,
dress code for parents.
And there was no repercussions of a dress code violation anywhere about detention.
It didn't say like your student was going to get punished. They'd probably just ask you to leave or something like that.
Your mom looked terrible. We actually can't see you for the next 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah, please get your mom in.
You've been suspended.
Mom violated the
Please
dress
take
code
your mother
again.
shopping.
Oh my God. All right, we need to get Sarah Strackhouse out of here. You've got work to do. We clearly do not.
No.
So when we come back, though, Sarah, I'm going to lean on you a little bit more. Sarah Curley, I'm going to lean on you a little bit more since you are the mom in the room.
All right, I'll take it.
Charging for birthday parties. Put your thoughts together on whether or not that should be okay.
Charging
And do
for
you want
a
to hear the
birthday
3
party
news
entry?
stories?
Oh, yes, please. Tease
Okay.
the 3 news
Tease
and weather coming up later today.
Yes, coming up later today. So watch on Facebook. We are talking about Biden throwing his hat in the ring for the presidential
Yes,
race.
I heard about
All right,
that.
we're talking about the measles outbreak. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Not measles. What?
That's crazy. And then we are also talking about how we did this first quarter when it comes to financial and economy news.
There we go. Looking
right.
forward to that. If you want to have some fun, go onto Twitter and search Biden his time. You're going to find a lot of terrible jokes out there that people think they're clever. Looking forward to that. That's going to be this afternoon.
Yep.
Or later this afternoon since it is already the afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be able to get your forecast, your top headlines all in under 5 minutes with myself and meteorologist Cash Payne.
There it is. All right. Be looking forward to that. I'm going to hit a little music here. There it is.
Nice.
And we will be right back here on the lunch break on RNCN. It's 12:36 in the afternoon. Stick around.
Do I raise 7 and 8?
Raise 9. There it is.
All right, fellas, I'll see you later.
See ya.
Yes, it is.
I hate when I actually touch my glasses.
Oh, I know.
Fat finger. All right, are we ready to come back? Sarah, you feel good about coming back? Even though we are technically already back.
Oh, here.
13. And then
here.
9 goes down.
9 goes down. And we're back on the lunch break.
Beautiful.
On RNCN. Welcome. I'm Matt. Sarah Strackhouse just took off from the building. She's off to do something else. Derek moving into the hot seat here.
Hot. It's very hot.
Hot seat here.
Feeling hot.
Sarah in there.
Nice.
Did Dallas leave? Does he have stuff to do too?
Yes. He went. I think he has a client meeting. All good things. I do
great.
need to give a formal apology
Okay.
to our viewers. So there, Josh Hart with the team and hosted the lunch break. He had introduced me to the lunch break, and I was fumbling around as I am learning how to navigate the waters of the control room.
Sure.
And so, you guys understand. I'm like half listening, and he's trying to get some feedback from me, and I was just a little rattled. And he goes, "Oh, we're going to start the show. Breaking news. Notre Dame is on fire." I didn't hear Notre Dame. I heard Notre Dame, and all of a sudden, in my head came out the basketball team, and I'm thinking they're on a winning streak.
Okay.
So I go,
I like it.
fire. But he goes, no. No.
Not exactly.
Not, it's like it's burning. Like in
Like the literal cathedral is burning.
Like the
That wasn't
cathedral
your
is
fault,
burning.
though.
I am sorry
It was an interesting response.
for the response. What do I say? I officially regret my response,
Yeah.
and prayers and thoughts go out.
This is your
but
apology.
yes,
now,
this
luckily,
is my
nobody
formal
got
apology.
hurt, right? Like that was. It was.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Should follow back up on the story, but it's just devastating what happened, and I'm just so sorry for my response. That was not what I had meant to say.
Apology noted. The people of France, thank you. They've been waiting for that apology.
Gosh,
I did see an interesting story about an architect who wanted to replace the roof with a greenhouse roof.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about that because apparently everything that was burned can be fixed, right?
Yeah.
Like the structure of the cathedral is still there. The stone is still there. It was just things like the wooden roof and other parts of it that burned. But it is still structurally sound, so they can put it back together. Now the question becomes, do we put it back together the way it was, or do we take this opportunity to make perhaps some improvements? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't have a strong feeling one way or another, I think.
I would say probably bring it more back to how it was just because of its historical significance.
At least close, right? But it has been rebuilt a number of times. The things have been added and things like that a number of times. So it's hard to say, I don't know, looking at it now or looking at it as it was pre-fire, what was part of the original design and what had been added throughout the centuries. I'm sure you can find that out.
Very true.
I just don't know off the top of my head. So I'm curious what they do going forward.
Not to tie this back to Texas, but to tie this back to Texas. Remember when Big Tex
Of course.
on fire, right?
Yeah.
He got new boots, he got a facelift, he got the whole thing, and we just moved on, didn't we?
We did. We did.
Poor Tex.
These are exactly the same. No, I agree. I mean, I can remember what a stunning day. I was working in radio at the time. I walked in and I was seeing pictures of Big Tex's face literally on fire, which if you're watching from out of state, which I don't know why you are, but if you are, Big Tex is like the symbol of the Texas State Fair, which is held in Dallas every year. I don't even know if we really appreciate the fact that our state fair is held basically in our backyard. I know
Yes,
certain
yes.
other state fairs
Awesome fair too.
might move around. Some are held on the same fairgrounds, but the official state fair of Texas is held in Dallas. So easy to go to. People travel from all over the place to go to that thing. People drive up from Houston or farther.
Absolutely.
To go to
There are
this
like
thing.
more than 1 million people that go to that every year.
Yeah. And I always took it for granted. I was like, oh yeah, it's just the state fair. But when I think about it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cool thing that we get to do every year.
I guilt tripped myself like 2 years ago because I hadn't gone in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Or since I was like a kid, and I'm like, this is not good.
It's a lot of fun. If you want to
Yeah,
have some
no, it was
fun,
great.
dig into the history of the state fair and some of the displays that were. They literally moved an entire Philippine village. I think it was the Philippines.
What?
Or Vietnamese. I can't remember which. One of the two. Moved an entire village. This was in the early 1900s. They moved an entire village to the state fair with people living in it.
What?
And they just had
Wow.
them going about their day as a display, right? Like
What?
it was like, here, come by and see the Philippine village at the state fair.
Do you think you
Crazy.
could get away with that these days?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I have a feeling you cannot get away with that these days. But
My favorite's always been the massive butter sculpture.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. The little
it's
arts
easy
and
to
crafts.
miss. It's easy to miss too. I remember stumbling across that a few years ago.
Yeah.
because it's in the.
It's like the arts and crafts building, or
yeah,
like
yeah, it's
they
in one
do
of the
cooking
buildings.
The
competitions
blue
in there.
ribbon stuff.
They
and
have all.
yeah.
I love that because they have all like the jellies and the jams
Yeah.
and like all the kind of grandma type of things.
They don't really direct your attention to it, but when you
No,
walk in there,
it's one of the coolest spots.
There's this enormous butter. I mean, as big as this room, butter sculpture. That's incredible. All right, let's talk about charging for birthday parties.
Charging for birthday parties.
I'm
okay.
already
How old
upset
is
just
Caleb?
by.
Caleb is what? 7
Caleb
or-
is 9.
He's 9. Okay.
He's 9. He's going to be in the 4th grade. I can't believe it.
So
So,
you-
we've had our fair share of birthday party invites and non-invites.
You have held birthday parties, I assume. You have been to birthday parties.
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever run across this thing? So someone wrote into the Boston Globe. It was like their conduct, their Miss Manners section or whatever.
Yeah.
About a mom who was charging a cover for a birthday party. So basically, she said, if it's
Yikes.
going to be at a venue, the cover charge is $20. So if you're going to Chuck E. Cheese, Charles E. Cheese, you're going to pay $20 per person to come to this party. If it's at the house, if they're having it at the house, they were just going to leave a basket out for donations. No
Wow.
required amount, but strongly encouraged that you donate to come to this party. Now, Sarah, have you ever run across anything like this in the party scene?
So I have not run across this quite yet at the party scene. However, if you're looking for my opinion, these parties, there's a lot of pressure on moms and dads alike to put on a really nice birthday party or take them somewhere to do a birthday party, okay? And it's expensive. It's very expensive if you want to have this experience for your child. It's very expensive. So I could see possibly charging, like, I don't know. We have always paid for our birthday parties and we've always, invited, but we did make kind of a mistake by inviting the entire class one year.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of short notice, so I wasn't really, we had close friends, close family, because when they're really young, you kind of invite like the super close ones, and then they get into school, and then you're like, okay, they've got some friends, but we also need to invite the class, so we don't want anybody left out. So strategically, I did not invite the class until the week of. Y'all, the class showed up. Okay.
The whole class.
Really?
And
Maybe they had
where we were at,
too much little notice.
Charge per kid. It's not charged per group. It's charged per kid, and it was so expensive. I remember thinking, "Oh my lord!"
What were you doing? Was this an event or like?
Okay, so we did 1 year at Perot Museum.
That's cool.
Fabulous. Amazing. We did a Chuck E. Cheese. We did a pin stack. We kind of done them all. We've done a bounce house, jump mania. They're all kind of around the same realm, but it is charged per kid, most of them. I would be open to finding out what group rates would be. But, I'm kind of indifferent on this one just because I do know from experience it's expensive. And I would not be, appalled if a parent was like, hey, please Venmo, the extra for so-and-so. Oh, I know at the Crayola, you can pay for your kid to do, you have the whole party, but then, per kid, you can do more experiences while you're there. So they basically get the day pass in, and then you can do more there while you're there, stay the whole day.
So
Why
that
not?
could be handled on like a parent by parent or kid by kid basis. If the parent wants to pay extra for extra experience.
Yeah, so where do y'all land on this?
Well, not having a kid, I clearly speak from a position of power here and like of authority. I kind of always thought it was a little like a wedding, right? And what I mean by that is you go to a wedding, you expect a certain number of things to be paid for, right? You're going to be fed, you're going to go to this nice venue or whatever as a guest.
Yeah.
In return, you bring a gift, right? That's kind of the quid pro quo. But still, you're not being asked to chip in for the wedding itself. You're just kind of you're a part of it.
It's like your due diligence as a wedding guest. Yes.
And I feel like a birthday party is the same way, right? Like it's not necessarily on me if you want to go have a ridiculous birthday party for your kid. I am showing up with my son or daughter. I'm bringing a gift for your child. Our transaction should be over, as far as I'm concerned. And then it goes around, right? Like you have a birthday party, right? You pay for it. Caleb's friend has a birthday party. They pay for it, right? It just kind of goes around, right? If there's one mom in that group that's breaking the cycle and saying, no, all of you also have to pay for the birthday party, I feel like that's breaking the social norms, right? Like,
Matt's working off of, like the friendship lunch thing. Like, do you need me to pay for lunch? Like, no, you'll get me next time.
I'll pick it up this time.
Exactly.
You pick it up next time. If I'm hosting the birthday party, I'm picking it up this time.
So
if you're hosting it, you're picking it up.
I'm going to open this up just a step further in two directions. One, do you leave the kid at the party and pick them up later?
Okay. I guess it depends on the
Yeah, I think it depends, doesn't it?
Right, it depends on the place, right? Or is that what have you preferred, I guess I would say.
Stay. I don't drop off unless they say, hey, leave your kid here. Here's the window of time. Usually the parents stay from the parties that I've been at, but I have been there where the kid's parent just left, took off. You've got the kid, birthday party, yeah, and they're going to go have a party of their own, okay?
It's like free babysitting, right?
I'm kind of looking around like, there's a lot of kids that are unattended.
That's how parties worked for me when I was a kid. It was like, you go to somebody's house or like to a pool party at their house and
you kind of got dropped off.
And
just get dropped off for 2 or 3 hours and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not quite like that now. Okay, so let's talk about re-gifting. Oh, yes. There was a birthday party.
Re-gifting for kids?
that Caleb got a gift and the kid's name was still on it.
Oh, wow.
Yikes.
We were re-gifted something that was completely, and two, the parents will ask, like, hey, what is he into? If those parents are really intentional on bringing a gift. Nope, we were re-gifted. It was very obvious. It was actually more of a girl gift than a boy. It was like there was bows and glitter, and it was definitely a re-gift. I think
Was
the
it
parent
open?
just... Well,
Like,
I
had it
didn't
been
investigate
used?
that much, but I just kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, well, it's awesome that they brought a gift, okay? And boy, girls versus girl gift is also kind of subjective. So
Sure.
whatever, Caleb loves anything to do with arts and crafts, but it was very clearly a re-gift.
I love it.
Because the name was still on it.
I am generally not against regifting to a degree,
Right.
right? If I've opened it, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
to give it away.
What is considered opening it?
It's very, very clearly like not as it's supposed to be.
Right,
new.
not in the package. I guess it depends on what the item is. If it's a book or something like that, I guess
you
I
wouldn't
I
tell.
could have read it and given it away.
I'm thinking like something in like those plastic things that you have to tear up and stuff.
Right, exactly, like an action figure
Right.
or whatever. Like if I
Yeah.
just give you a loose GI Joe, that's probably not a good gift, right?
Just put tinfoil around a G.I.
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
slap a bow on top.
But if I give you something in the package that maybe I got and I didn't want, there's still value there, right? Like that was my gift. It sucks that I got a gift that I don't want, but
Yeah.
like that was my gift, so I can choose then to give it to somebody else.
I've gotten
And
gifts in
maybe
the past that I've just given away to people because I feel like they'd like it more than I would.
Yeah. I don't think there's necessarily anything
No.
wrong.
Do you think
wrong
that's
with that.
how those elephant gifts were born? Because
The
everybody
white
got
elephant
something. You think?
thing?
Have you been
Probably.
a part of those?
Those stress me out so hard.
Do they really?
White elephant
Matt,
gift exchanges stress me out so
discover
hard.
this. Why?
Because I prefer Secret Santa over White Elephant.
Okay,
because
so what's the
White-
difference? The Secret Santa is you're
Secret
purchasing
Santa-
something for someone that doesn't know?
Right. Secret Santa is you have an individual that you're purchasing. So now there's a whole other piece of stress associated with that. But you
Yes, there
are
is.
buying a gift for a particular person, right?
Right, because white elephant's like everyone gets a shot at the pile.
Exactly, right. White elephant is you bring something and then so what stresses me out is I always lose out on the white elephant thing because I'll pick something and I'm never the guy who's going to look at something that someone else already has.
Yep.
Perhaps they've acted excited about it, right? They got a cool Bluetooth speaker that they're really excited about. And I'm like, man, I could really use one of those. I'm taking
I'm gonna
that from
steal.
you. Right? Like part of it is you're literally stealing something from somebody else.
I hate that rule too, that you can like have one steal.
Yeah, it feels so aggressive.
It does.
In a way. It
Hang
feels
on, y'all.
so-
We're going to have Travis enter this conversation.
Nice.
And I
Looking
want to make
forward
sure
to
that
it.
I
Yeah,
mic
have a
him
seat
up
over there.
correctly. Travis, welcome.
He's
okay,
going to be on mic 5.
and we're going to do a little reset. Matt, tell us what we're talking about. And we want to know from the comments.
We're all over the place right now.
We're
but,
just rolling.
And what
our
mic is he
current-
again?
5. Our current conversation, Travis,
Test, test.
is...
Check. Let's hear it.
Right on, check.
I don't think he's on.
No, I don't think
5?
so.
5?
He's on 5.
Is the slider up?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Hear me now? Am I good?
There he is.
There he is.
It was
There he
off
is.
the whole. It was off the whole time. I'm the one that messed that up. Okay.
So right now
Gifting.
we're discussing the whether you prefer a gift exchange, whether you prefer something like a Secret Santa gift exchange or a white elephant gift exchange. Are you familiar with the
gosh,
concept of the
yeah.
white elephant gift exchange?
I am.
I was saying that it stresses me out to be part of a white elephant gift exchange because
Yeah.
I'm tasked with then either taking something that I'm ultimately not going to want because someone's going to steal something from me.
Yeah.
Or I have to be the guy to be like,
Exactly.
I'm taking this. I'm taking this.
I'm with you, Matt. I'm the guy, like, if I see somebody and they're happy with whatever they have, I'm not going to take it from them.
I'm taking the L on
I'm
that
the
one, right?
exact opposite. I'm the
Are you-
exact
are you
opposite.
the stealer?
I'm taking it. Yeah. But
This past Christmas, actually, we did that, like, at my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
And one of the younger girls that is, I guess, like, probably my step niece or something at this point. I have no idea. Anyways, she got like a little one of those kind of scrapyard type of art pieces. I don't know how to explain it. Like they just kind of weld metal together and it was made into a dog, and I really liked it.
We follow you.
And she couldn't stand it. Like, and I could tell that she really hated it. So I took it from her.
You took that weight off
I
of her
stole.
shoulders.
I took the weight off of her shoulders, and now it lives on my balcony.
Oh, taking one for the team,
know
Derek.
what?
But I actually liked it. Like I legitimately
Well, there
liked
you
it.
go. Okay, so that worked out.
I got a white elephant story from last year too, or from this past Christmas. So
We're in. Let's hear it.
we were playing the game, and I think I wound up like pulling or like opening up. It was like money. It was a good amount of money, like $500 amount of money.
This
Yeah.
isn't a white elephant.
And that's exactly why
I need to come to your Christmases,
Hey,
man.
that's why now it's just I'm savage when it comes to it. I'm taking anybody's. So I had $500, right? And then somebody took it, of course. To like just fast forward through the whole thing, I wound up with like a big tub of washing powder.
What?
No,
This
I'm not
is-
at all.
This is like next level
Yeah.
white elephant.
It was like
This
the
is
highest of highs. the
create a
lowest of
rift
lows.
in the
So-
family.
I'm going to say whoever brought that $500 is a jerk. It's like they broke the
That's smart.
construct of the
They know.
thing, right?
That's smart.
Also,
Yeah.
whoever bought washing powder is a jerk too. Like, come on, like bring something
man,
cool.
It was really bad. But the washing powder did serve a great purpose. I got a lot of use out of
There
it.
you go.
You actually used it. I love it.
Yeah.
But no, I admire your attitude though, because like you're playing by the rules. I'm
Right.
clearly
Yeah.
not. I'm not playing by the rules. But that's like trying to say like I'm trying not to foul on an open shot in basketball, right? Like that's
Right.
part
Yeah.
of it, right? You got to
Right.
make them earn it.
Yeah.
So like you're playing by the
Exactly.
rules. Like
There's
you're
no mercy.
If I picked the $500, I would just accidentally disappear to the bathroom for the
run away.
latter half
Run
of
out
White
of the
Elephant.
room. I'm
I got
done.
an emergency really quickly. Let me just dash out with this money.
Sorry.
Pull the eject on this thing.
So, are we going to bring this to Real News PR for the Christmas party this year?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it's terrible. It's
Like I
terrible.
said, I'll take the 500 and go to the bathroom.
Look, the Secret Santa.
What if it's 500 in pennies?
well,
That would be actually pretty impressive.
Like those candy jars we
Very
have
impressive.
filled, and
Yeah.
you have to just carry it out.
It'd be like 100 pounds.
the Secret Santa it has its own set of stress because especially with somebody you don't know, you have to go around trying to figure out something,
Right.
And you're always buying
Yes.
a Starbucks
It is
gift card,
stressful.
which is fine. Like I'm never going to be the guy that's like, don't get me a gift card because that's lazy. Get me a gift card,
Please.
Like hook it up with a gift card.
I prefer it actually.
But yeah, it's a stress, but it's a different kind of stress. The white elephant thing, I'm always going to lose out on that. I'm always going to lose
Yeah.
out on that.
I think with
because the
Secret
trades of
Santa-
the world are going to be like,
Yeah.
give me that, you
Right.
know?
With Secret Santa, it's almost like we put the stress on ourselves because we are like going store to store, like what would this person like?
Right.
It's not even necessarily they're putting it on us.
Yeah.
It's just we're
Yeah.
like, okay, we don't want to give a lame gift.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, I agree. It's this whole conversation started because there was a mom in Boston who was charging a cover for birthday parties. So she was having a birthday party for her kid and saying, "If you're coming to my birthday party, pay me $20." Do you have any thoughts on?
I was wondering why we
Sure.
were talking about Secret Santa
Yeah.
in the middle of like, or at the end of, I guess, what is this, May?
Yeah,
It's April,
right.
right?
End of April. It's almost May.
Seriously though, I would pay to go to a birthday party only if it was something like really cool.
Right.
Like indoor skydiving or something like that.
I was literally just about to say that.
That's the thing I think of. That's the thing I think of because I always want to go do that, and then I realize how ridiculously expensive it is.
yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
Like, I would
how
help you
crazy expensive. It's like a couple $100 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Indoor skydiving, that's where they put you in like that tube.
the wind
Yeah.
tunnel.
And then,
you're just like-
you just kind of like lay out. Right,
It sounds
right, right.
awesome.
I have an
but it's
irrational fear
crazy
about
expensive.
those of like going through the like Willy Wonka experience at the top.
That's a really good description of that. That really is. It's like that. And then you're like,
Right.
I would just be terrified.
I would just imagine you couldn't breathe really well in there because the air it comes from like below, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you are just like hovering over it, so the
Yeah.
air is just like stopping your.
And I feel like somebody's probably holding you
Right.
in position more than
Right.
you're actually doing anything in there, right?
Exactly. So you probably
yeah, I've done it. It's the most unflattering view too, because it's like in your face, and like it hurts your face and it burns, and
Oh, I
I'll
can
never do it
imagine.
again. But my fiance Nick went, and he had a blast, and I don't know, I wasn't
sounds
like
awesome.
spinning right,
It sounds fun.
and it was just the most. It was not flattering. But they do photos and videos, of course, the upsell, right?
Right.
It's like we should get this. It's really cool, and I'm like, I look like ridiculous because the wind just gushes in your face.
They
and it's
make
like,
sure to like
"Ah."
catch you from every single angle.
angle.
Right.
Who would want that.
Right.
I'm gonna say if you want an idea for a team building, let's drop a couple grand on taking everybody to the
Indoor
center.
skydiving.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
I want to hit one more story before we leave because we're coming up on time, a time that none of us set, but I'm just going to call 1 o'clock, 1-ish our time.
We're gonna have to do some chili dogs too.
Yes.
We need to do some chili dogs. I agree.
It sounds so good now.
QT's got some.
We talked about that earlier, Travis.
Anna had never had a chili
Yeah.
dog. You mentioned that?
Yeah,
Wow.
we brought
She
that
needs
up.
a chili dog. Trey, we were talking earlier about how you're excited to go see Avengers Endgame,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Super
Like
excited.
Derek, I assume you're probably going to want to go see it. You haven't seen it yet, right?
I have-
You didn't go to one of the midnight screenings.
No, I'm a terrible movie watcher.
Okay.
If someone invites me, absolutely. But,
But
like,
you don't-
on my own
you don't
time,
go on your own?
really no interest.
Sarah, do you have any interest in the Avengers movies? Are you going to watch the Marvel movies? at
I'm
all?
in it for the popcorn. Ranch, extra butter, large. But I'll watch it. I mean, I have to be kind of like Derek. It's just I'm the worst. I'm texting, and the people that are like, "Please keep your phone on silent." Like I just.
Oh,
have
I'm
no
not doing
attention.
that. I'm just saying, like, if
You're a better movie watcher than I am. Then.
So
I usually have to be invited to a movie to
if
to
you're
watch
in it for the popcorn, you could not go to the subject of our next. You could not go to the movies with the subject of our next story.
Uh-oh.
really,
There was a woman on Twitter who shared a list of rules given to her by her boyfriend.
what
For
rules?
rules
This is already
to
starting
follow.
off badly.
Yeah, exactly. Rules to follow when going to see Avengers with him.
Oh, gosh.
So he's into this. He wants to see this movie, right? A
Right.
lot of people want to see this movie.
Is
Oh
she
my
like really
gosh.
into it?
She doesn't say whether or not she's into it or not. I think she was looking forward to going, but she said, if I wanted to go with him, these are my rules, or these are the rules that were set for me.
Oh, she
Yikes.
set the rules for him.
No. He set
He
the rules
set the
for
rules
her.
for her.
Yeah. So
Nope.
number one,
Red flag.
she can't eat anything throughout the film, including the end credits. Cannot eat anything.
What?
She can quietly drink water. So
Oh,
no
wow.
popcorn. No popcorn.
Wow.
Oh, girl, you get out of there.
Along
no,
those same lines.
no.
Along those
will
same
say-
lines.
I will say this though. Before you say, I will say this: the end credits are normally like one of the most important parts of the
Sure.
movie. It's mostly like the crucialest part.
Yeah.
So
We
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
it's
about her
important.
eating habits either. I mean, what if she's
Maybe she's a loud eater.
Oh wow, yeah.
She cannot pass him to go to the bathroom, so
have
she
to
can't
take the
walk
long way.
over.
You have to take the long way.
She got to take the long way around if it's a long way.
Golly.
She can't talk to him during the film. It doesn't. I assume she just can't talk during the film,
Right.
Including the end credits and even during the trailers. You can't talk during the trailers.
Oh my gosh.
Why
If
does he-
there's,
she just needs to go by himself.
Right.
My eye is twitching.
I love this one. So it says they're dating, but I guess they do have a child together. If there's an emergency involving their child,
Oh, gosh.
she can leave. He's not going to leave. He's staying at the theater. So I guess she's catching an
Wow.
Uber home or something. I don't know.
Right.
How old is the child? The child probably should. Aren't these
It
like
doesn't- it didn't
graphically
say.
violent
My
movies?
goodness.
He just needs to block out 3 hours to
Well, I don't know
himself.
if I don't know if the kid is there or if they're getting a babysitter and if she gets called away because there's an emergency. She can leave though. He's not. And afterwards, there will be a 30-minute debrief session
Oh wow.
and followed by a period of quiet personal reflection.
My goodness.
I already know the answer to this, Sarah, but if Nick hit you with these set of rules to go to a movie,
Oh.
what's the story here?
Right.
Like, are you? Like,
Y'all.
I don't think.
or
I'm
would
the
he be
girl
would he
at-
be so foolish as to do
Early
that?
in dating, I tested him on this, okay? And it wasn't for rules or anything, but
Yeah.
it's because of my love for popcorn. I'm going to derail this completely for you, Matt. But I wanted to just get the popcorn for a stay-at-home movie kind of watch, but I can never recreate the bucket of popcorn. So I had him drive me to Cinemark
No way.
to get the largest
I've done
size
this.
of popcorn. You have?
That's
Yes.
hilarious.
I've had
Okay.
to do this.
And brought it home.
Do you pay for a movie ticket or do they just let you go?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Can you get in there?
Yeah, they
have
just let
to
you-
explain yourself.
certain theaters you can. I
Hey,
think.
I'm just here for the popcorn.
I have an online order for my extra large
Open-
bucket.
Yeah, open the door.
Only $35.
Right. I was actually gonna kind of suggest that though. Like he should just like buy the movie on like bootleg. Like if he knows somebody that's selling it, yeah, he should just like bootleg. Just watch it in a quiet room by
Yeah,
himself.
just shut himself in a closet. And,
Is that
and-
still a thing these
I
days?
think-
Like you
I'm
can go into
guessing.
Trader's Village to the
Hey,
bootleg
I bet you
DVD
can.
guy.
I bet you can.
I'm guessing,
you can.
bro. I'm guessing.
It'll have like a Chinese cover on it, but
Oh,
you'll
it
get
has 2006 written all over it.
He'll have crowd reaction and everything.
I love.
We did figure out how to make some pretty good homemade popcorn from kernels. If you want the heads up, I can give you that. Sarah.
I do need the recipe.
It tastes pretty good.
What about the Jiffy Pop that you put over the stove? Has anybody ever successfully done one of those?
Oh, we literally we do the skillet and we have loose kernels and throw those in there and we.
How
get
do you
pretty
do
good
that
popcorn.
without burning it?
So here's the secret. Here's folks. I'm gonna leave you with something here on the lunch break to take home with you.
I love it. I love it.
And you can find this online. This is not. I did not figure this out.
No, let's brand this thing. Let's go to market strategy.
This is
I'm
mine.
at Stoker's Popcorn.
What I will brand, I'll brand my grilled cheese recipe because people don't know about this.
Wow.
Mayo on the grilled cheese instead of butter.
Really?
That's how you do it.
Mayo.
Mayo.
I'm down. I'm down to try it.
Spread mayonnaise on the outside of the grilled cheese instead of butter. Perfect.
Oh, instead of butter.
Instead of butter.
On the outside.
On the out. Well, when you get
to get like
you get the crisp, you get the grill.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what you do.
about that.
Interesting.
Put it in the skillet. Perfect.
Not a secret anymore.
Take that home with you. So when you're making popcorn out of straight kernels, you can just buy like the jug of kernels, right?
Yep.
Put your oil in there. We use coconut oil. Get a little bit of oil in the pan. Throw 2 kernels in the pan. Heat it up. Put it on medium heat so you're not burning the oil. The second those kernels pop, they'll pop. Take it off the heat. Pour the rest in. Leave it off the heat for about a minute. Put it on just low heat. They'll all pop.
Wow.
Cover it and they'll all pop.
Slow and steady.
Yeah. So
does this taste better than microwave popcorn?
It does.
It
Because
does.
then you can make your own. You can do whatever you want from that point. We melt butter.
It's
put a
probably
little.
healthier for you, right?
Well, I mean, probably, but then we put butter on it, so it's not. But yeah. you can. I've heard things about nutritional yeast that's supposed to taste like cheese or whatever. That's actually healthy. But then you do whatever you want to, right? We'll do butter. We'll mix a little garlic in there, stir it, melt the
Garlic.
butter,
Oh, wow.
and then put that on there.
That sounds
You guys are killing me right
delicious.
now. I'm
Serious.
starving.
Yeah.
Right. I only eat kettle corn. I don't even like popcorn though. To be
Kettle
honest.
corn's good,
Yeah,
and
I
I
only
don't.
eat
I
kettle
don't know
corn.
how to make a good kettle
Too
corn, but
sweet for me.
But that is a good way if you want to make some homemade popcorn. Put a couple kernels in. That way, you get it to the right. You get it to the right temperature, and then as soon as they pop, take it off the heat, pour the rest on, give it a minute to rest, cover it, and then when you turn on the heat again, they won't all pop immediately, but it'll be pretty close to the same.
Yeah.
and they
Right.
won't burn or anything like that.
Oh, that's crazy.
There you go.
I've never tried that.
Cook
There you
lessons
go.
with Matt.
Yeah, here you
I
go.
think-
Cooking with me.
Right.
A super quick one. Those Jiffy Pops, as Sarah was talking about. I think those are just made for you to burn. I don't think there's
Such
any
a waste
way
of
to
money.
actually
They're
do
like
it correctly.
$4. They're like $4 a little pop thing, and it's
You get
a
like
rip-off.
5 to pop, and the rest of it just smells up the entire house.
Not worth it. Go the other route. Yeah, go the loose kernel route. I'm telling you,
Hilarious.
it'll be great. And mayo on your grilled cheese.
Yes.
You'll try it tonight. It's
Trying this.
delicious.
Definitely.
Stoker,
Delicious.
sir, we thank you for your That
Seriously,
sounds
I mean,
so great, all of it.
We got to
It
get
is.
out of here at some point, and remember your 30 minutes of debrief
Yeah, and then
before
quiet
deep
reflection.
deep reflection.
Yeah, please, everyone, spend some quiet time reflecting on the lunch break and what we've talked to you about today.
These wonderful food tips.
All right, I'm gonna hit a little music here. Give me pot 9 up, just
Pot
about
9
halfway. There it is. Perfect. All right, this has been the lunch break. Thank you to Sarah Strackhouse who had to take off. Thank you to Derek.
All right.
Thank you to Travis hanging out in here, coming in late but coming in hot.
Right on.
I appreciate it. Thank you to Sarah Crilly and Dallas Crilly who had to take off. Chris Gambari hanging out in the booth, doing nothing back there, but still hanging out. His
He
presence
needs
is
to know
known.
how to work the conference room TV, apparently, so we all need to go up there and
All right,
help
we
him,
need to go.
SWAT
Right.
team style.
We need to go help him. Thank you for the lunch break. Thank you for watching the lunch break. We'll be back at some point, whenever. Keep an eye on the RNCN feed. We'll be here. Until then, have a good weekend. See ya. And mute all the mics. Mute all the mics. And go just across the board.